stolen from a research center in England. CNN's John Roberts is there.
Wolf, let me set the scene for you. This cylindrical building behind me is the Climatic Research Unit here at the University of East Anglia. It is one of the most prestigious research institutions in the world when it comes to global warming, and it is now the epicenter of an enormous controversy regarding the research. 1,000 emails, some 3,000 documents were stolen by hackers off of the computer system here and have been distributed around the world and are being used by skeptics to question the entire science of global warming. The charge is that language in some of the emails suggests that the researchers were cooking the books, if you will. They were manipulating the data to fit their own theory supporting global warming. I got a look inside this facility yesterday. Dr. Peter Liss, who is the interim director of the Climatic Research Unit, took me around, showed me inside. It's really just a collection of academic offices where researchers sit at computers and crunch numbers related to global warming processes. The usual director of the unit, Phil Jones, stepped down pending an internal investigation, which shouldn't be completed probably until sometime in the spring. But the big question here at this university, because of this crown jewel now being in the spotlight of controversy, is what kind of impact will this have on the Copenhagen summit? I asked that of Dr. Peter Liss.
So I don't think it should influence things at all. Of course, I mean, I'm not a politician, but I can sort of see that it might have some impact. I hope it's, say, small or insignificant. But I mean, you've already seen people saying, well, this just knocks the bottom out of the climate argument. I mean, I don't think that's true at all. But people will say that because it suits them to say that.
You said, I hope it doesn't have an influence. It shouldn't have an influence. I think it shouldn't have an influence, but there's every possibility that it very well could.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Well, you've heard various politicians and representative politicians making statements this week saying exactly that it will have an influence as far as they're concerned. We'll have to wait and see whether the bulk of the nations are swayed by that.
The controversy aside, researchers who support the theory of global warming the world over believe that there is far more science to support the notion that man-made processes are in fact increasing Earth's temperature than just the research that is being done here by Dr. Jones. They say, look at what's happening to the ice caps, look at what's happening to the glaciers. There are dozens of other scientists around the world who have found similar results to those of Dr. Jones, and they say that really it's up to the skeptics to try to prove their point in ways other than simply questioning these emails. Here's what Dr. Liss said.
I think it's very hard to be a denier. And in some sense, you might say it's really up to the deniers to explain why it is, when we're pumping so much greenhouse gas into the atmosphere, why it wouldn't have such an effect. I mean, scientists tend to be a bit on the defensive, but in fact, they shouldn't be defensive because the evidence is very strong.
You have no doubt.
I have no doubt.
Where this may really impact, though, and scientists here agree, is in the court of public opinion. The Harris Poll people took a poll 2 years ago, and they've been doing this for a number of years, to ask how many people believe that global warming was man-made. 2 years ago, that percentage was 71. 71% of Americans believe that global warming was man-made. They asked that question again recently. The numbers had dropped 20 points to just 51%. And while public policy immediately may not be driven by public opinion, there are enough people here who are questioning the science at this point that it may in the future. Wolf?
John Roberts reporting for us from England. Thanks, John, very much.